Welcome everybody to my Age of Civilization 2 tips and tricks. I mean early tips and tricks, because I don't know how viable this will be later on, but I'll try my best to keep these as informative as possible. Here right now you see a Germany game of mine which I was trying. You can see I'm taking out Norway, I'm fighting Finland and Spain in a weird alliance against me and Norway. So things haven't gone quite as planned, but I'm still optimistic because I almost taken out Norway. Then Finland will be quite to take out, and then in the end I'll deal with Spain. But let's get to the tips and tricks. Now first of all, I will make 3 kinds of categories of tips, and I'll start with the peacetime tips, which are before you start any war, save up your gold. Now, if you just start off as a small nation, you just can save up. Maybe if you start as Luxembourg, but I had a Switzerland game where I started with Switzerland. I waited till World War II broke out, saved up all my money, didn't spend anything. Didn't spend a lot on anything else. I just made the minimum of goods, minimum, zero research, minimum investments. I waited till the war broke out, declared war on the Germans, and absolutely wrecked them and the Italians because they were fighting France. So that's not such a smart idea. As a second tip, you can puppet people around the world. As you look at my diplomacy screen, you can see I've got a lot of these lighterish bluish things, and that is puppets of mine. Now I have just gone around and puppeted a lot of nations. If you have a look at the world map, I am the puppet master of South America. I mean Middle America, sorry. And I do puppet Belgian Congo. And how did I do this? Well, there's one simple trick. I mean, you can do it after winning a war, which happened against Belgium. But another thing is, if you are the stronger nation, like a tiny nation, and let's say Bhutan. You go in Bhutan, you smack down their opinion, they already hate me, so that's fine. Then you send an ultimatum, you demand vasalization, smack out all the units you have to invade, and right now my units are all deployed in some other lands fighting, so I don't have too many. Send ultimatum, and if you're lucky, and mostly if it's in the peacetime you have enough units to do this, they will subject to you and you'll get some nice money and you can have potential allies in a war. So makes sense. And there's no like border regulations. Like I said, I am puppeting Central America. If you look at the map, they're all my puppets. So I just went and puppeted them. It doesn't matter. I don't have any units nearby. I couldn't do anything if they would declare independence, but they do follow me. So that's always a good tip. The next economical tip is in peace times. If you have enough gold, if you have like let's say 100,000 gold, and you're ready for a war, you can, if you don't want to go to war, you can pump up goods a little bit. You can pump up investments a little bit, and especially research. Especially if you're not the highest tech, you can just get up the research. You could smack it up if you have enough money for a war. But you just always have to be sure you can't put these up too much if you don't have enough money saved up. And what is also important, if you look at the technology points, you do need a lot of income taxation, production, some administration, military upkeep. Those are all very important. These two are also kind of important, and research is also kind of important. So these, I feel, I'm not sure this is not don't know if it's like real meta and stuff, but I just feel like you need a lot of money. So income taxation, production makes sense, military upkeep makes sense, you pay less for military. Administration makes sense, you also pay less for administration. So here I've got 26,000 gold spent for administration. So that's quite a lot. If I'd have put down that a bit more, I would get less administration deductions. And the final peacetime tip is if you go on more, if you press on a province and click more, you can build farms, workshops, libraries, and ports. And all of these things are actually quite useful because ports obviously make sense to send units somewhere. What they also do is they give an income production of 2%. Sounds good, right? Workshop gives a 5% income production, which is quite nice. And a farm gives some growth rate. So these all are very useful, and library is good for research. I would, especially if you have enough money, if you want to save up a bit to become actually a strong nation, go in a country, build up some farms, build up some workshops. Those are the 2 things which make the most sense, and some ports, obviously. And you can level them up more than once. For example, here, I don't have any gold right now, but if you have enough gold, you can smack up the growth rate even more. If you look at Berlin right now, I have a 15% growth rate, and that could bring it up even higher. So Berlin is growing like mad, and that will make them a very strong economical city. So use them if you have enough money for a war. Now that I've done all the economical tips, I mean, some economical tips, let's go to diplomacy tips. Now, what I like to do is if I'm, let's say, a small nation, I am in Germany, it's not very necessary. But if you're a small nation, you do improve as bigger nations. So, for example, if I'd have started with Austria, first thing I'd do, I'd improve as Germany and Italy, or let's say if I have Belgium, I improve as France to possibly get in their alliance, which can be very helpful. And don't improve as smaller nations, because why do you need that? You can just vassalize them, or you can just take them out. Now, this game also was very strange, because I one time was fighting the Soviets, and then I just gave up Königsberg, so they would leave me alone, because they were sending 20k stack after 20k stack, and I was already fighting someone else, and it was just too much. But yeah, weird game, that's not important right now. On the other hand side, you should also check out your diplomacy. So if you're, look at this map right now, I have Poland as a friendly country, so they won't attack me. All of these countries are friendly countries. France won't attack me anytime soon. England likes me a lot. This is kind of super ahistorical. And I'm obviously still at war with the Spanish, which took out some provinces here because I had nothing there. So keep an eye on in diplomacy. If you would see now too many very reddish getting countries, like Hungary doesn't like me a lot, Romania don't like me a lot, I should pay attention, because if I have too many of these countries, they just might declare war on me. Another thing which I noticed while one of my live streams is you shouldn't improve relations with too many nations at once. Only do it if you actually want to ally a nation, because I already want to postpone a war. For example, France, I already put them quite a lot higher just because I was scared they would declare me, and now I was making like my weird little puppet Germany. So pay attention. And the last one is, you should, if you take new countries, if you take new lands, like for example, I took Sion here of Switzerland when I declared war on them, go and improve, assimilate them, make them close to your nation, otherwise you will get less income from that province, so this one here, and you get a higher chance of a revolt starting there. So try to get that up. It will be expensive, but it's worth it, because you'll get more money. Now I've done all the diplomacy points, now let's get to the war, the juicy parts. First of all, if you started the war and you notice, you know what, maybe as Latvia, you shouldn't declare war on the Soviet Union. Probably is not the best idea. If you do notice, you can go on your country. You click on, you have to go diplomacy on your own country. What you can do is, if you go far enough down, you can take a loan. If you take a loan, you can take a lot of gold at once. You'll have to pay it off in some turns, and you can see how much interest it will cost me per turn. But if the war is going bad and you really need troops urgently and it's a close war, get loans and pay and try to use the extra cash to build some armies. Now, if you start a war like I have, like 3 wars right now, if you start a war like I have, and I've got like 3 wars right now going on, try to decrease spending. So you need the minimum amount of goods, you need the minimum amount of investment, because there's here a line which you shouldn't undercross, and actually research you could smack to 0 to get the extra money, because in war you need every bit of money. Because money is the one important thing in this game. So go there. Now, what I noticed, what already happened to me once in a while, when I was fighting in Belgium. I went through this province, took Belgium, tried to attack, and then one unit went and cut it off. What happened? My units took a lot of attrition, and for every time we had a battle, a lot more of my units died than enemy units died. So if you're going invading somewhere, for example, if you're the UK and you're trying to take out China because they didn't want to buy your opium, keep at least 1 port so your units don't get crushed. Now, another tip which is quite funny is don't always invite allies. Now, this might sound strange. For example, I'm fighting Norway and it's only... Oh wait, Denmark also, because they declared this. I think I called in Denmark because they were close. Let's look at Finland. Finland, it's only me fighting versus Finland. Now, why did I do that? I could call all my allies. But the problem is, if you want to make peace earlier, you don't want to send all of your units and all of your allies to help you, don't always invite everybody, because the allies are sometimes so annoying. That they don't allow you to do a peace conference. So for example, if I now go on, let's say Spain, and I called in all my allies there because they're annoying. If I want to make a peace deal with Spain, my allies will often block it. It's so annoying. They will just say, no, we don't want this peace deal, and then you can't make the peace deal. Which is really bad actually for you. And I'm just neglecting all my wars because I want to show this video. I'll just show you, look, now Italy declined this peace deal. against Spain. So if you have too many allies in, somebody will always declare peace deals and you'll have to take every single province with that country. Which, trust me, that's so annoying. If for example, I declared war on Belgium, and then the Netherlands, which already had subjected, didn't want to allow me to do a peace deal because I called them in, then I actually had to go and send my whole army to Belgian Congo, and that's so annoying, trust me. So don't always call all your allies into the war, except if you have to. For example, when the Soviets attacked me, I called everybody, because how else could I survive against the Soviet Union? And a funny little tip is, if you're fighting a big bulk, let's say I would be fighting Poland, or let's say I'm fighting Finland, and I could attack these 1,000 ports and make a normal invasion, but what makes sense is to take a random province and just send some units there and try to just run around and grab provinces. Like that you'll rack up the war score because you hold a lot of cities. And that's how you can sometimes peace out even though you're a lot weaker and you're taking a lot more damage, which is quite funny. Just because you hold a lot more provinces of them, so they will accept the peace deals. Or you can just also try to, you know, reduce their income generations each turn. And the last tip is, if you're at war and let's say I'm at war with Hungary and these two are neutral nations, you super often can just ask for military access. They will so often grant it. For example, wait, this doesn't work. Let's say Poland. I just go and ask Poland for military access and there's somebody at war. Let's say I'm at war with Romania and have to go through Poland. They will mostly accept it if you're not at war with somebody. Let's have a look. Let's test this out. I can still see how my strategy is going otherwise. So look at here, I'm grabbing a lot of Finland's provinces. And that means I'll have a lot more war score to actually peace out. And now, what did Poland do? Oh, they accept my military access. And a lot of times this will happen the other way around. For example, Spain is invading Italy right now because I called Italy in the war and all their units are in Greece. France allowed them to go through. So pay attention, even if there's something between it, very well might be that you might face an invasion. So those are my early tips for Age of Civilization 2. I hope you enjoyed, and please don't wonder too much about this game because it was really weird. Can I zoom out a little more? I'm still struggling with the zoom. Look just how weird my borders are. I've got here some lands in in Mozambique, and my German borders are really weird. Just ignore this. This is a weird game, but I hope you enjoyed. I hope these tips are useful for you. I wish you a nice day. Have a nice and bye!